All right, so I wanted to talk about different guitars and why we actually have a lot of different guitars, other than the mere fact that we can have them. Obviously, the primary reason we have a lot of guitars is that we're hoping that it makes us play better. But I argue one thing that the different guitars, what they really should be doing for you is help you find your voice. It's really about creativity, period. That's what it's about. Unfortunately, we buy guitars and we buy different guitars not to be ourselves, but to sound like other people, basically. I have my Archtops because I grew up with listening to, Wes Montgomery or, all of the different players from that perspective, Joe Pass and things like that. I have a 175. And so, really, a good instrument or all of the different instruments should allow you to find your own sound. Your own creative space. That to me is what you stress for. And sometimes um, if you think you need another guitar or you need something else, it's because you really haven't found that. And sometimes, buying another guitar can help with the creative process, albeit it may be short lived, a week, 2 weeks, 2 months worth of creativity. But at the end of the day, I think you've reached a creative level, a good creative level, if it's not boring to sound the same way, if it is your soul. The way I speak is different than any of my subscribers speak. And so that's my identifiable voice. And then guitar playing and music in general has to be that way. So, I started off and I'm playing this Heritage. I never even liked Les Paul guitars, but I found myself in this guitar. And yeah, I sound like I sound on some of the other guitars with this because it's very, very comfortable. And despite the fact that I'm finding creativity, there's some elements that I'm looking for the exact same things. For starters, so I started off this video playing this guitar. This is my latest acquisition, which you've seen already. This is a Cordoba Estezos classical guitar. And I'm not a classical guitarist, but I play fingerstyle. And, beautiful sounding guitar. And at the end of the day, when I play this guitar, I want to find my creative space the same way I find in my Archtops, the same way I find in the Heritage. And even though I have a lot of different guitars, there are some things that I look for in all guitars. For me, and everybody's playing is different. For starters, I think that sound is very important. That's the most important thing. But for me, the ability to fingerstyle off of it. I play a lot with picks, but my style is basically playing with my fingers. I want a guitar to feel like an extension of myself, and I want to feel comfortable with it, regardless of. I don't even care if it's 1 3/4, 7/8, and all of that stuff. So I'm not a gearhead in that way. It's crazy. I have all these guitars. Some of them I couldn't tell you with specificity what the dimensions are, what the woods are. I just know. I let my ears and I let my how it feels guide me. So when I picked this guitar up, I didn't even know, but supposedly the blower bar is a little bit smaller than regular classical guitars and stuff. What I really listened to was how does it feel? And the other thing I try to do is I try to play everything on the same guitar. So, for example, I don't reserve classical music just for the classical guitar. I'll play jazz off of this. I play classical off of the Les Pauls and things of that nature. I often think that every guitar I have should be the only guitar that I have. So because of that, I try to play multiple genres or all the music that I like out of it. I should be able to play the Police, Miles Davis, Herbie Hancock, whatever it is, the flavor of the day. So that to me is one of the things that I look for in terms of that. So anyway, yeah. So creativity is what I'm looking for. Very very basic kind of thought. When I have all these guitars, I'm not a session guitarist or anything like that. And you hear about these guys bringing 40, 50 guitars to a session, and some of them are cheap guitars, some of them are expensive guitars. They would whip out whatever it calls for the gig or for the session. And really what they're taught and say is like what's going to give them the creative edge, what's going to give them the sound that whoever's hiring them wants them to do, wants them to sound like. And that's exactly what I'm looking for, but in the comfort of my own house, in my living room, while I have the means and the wherewithal. Yeah, that's why I will acquire guitars and things like that. Not just beauty or anything like that. It's really as a creative outlet. And if I can get my voice and convey that in any of the guitars that I have, then it's a guitar that I like, at least for the moment. All right, then thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and practice, practice, and practice some more.